Right, just a quick warning here that the next story will contain some discussion of sexual assault. Could a simple swab help to end rape? An organisation called Enough says that it could, and it's handed out thousands of its self-swab rape kits across the UK since its launch in 2024. Now, they look a bit like at-home COVID tests, and Enough describes them as the breathalyzer of rape, giving survivors who aren't ready to go to the police the power to collect DNA from their attacker. But some experts are concerned about whether or not the kits could actually be used as evidence and that they could put people off seeking essential medical and wellbeing support. We're going to speak to two people about this. Katie White, who is a co-founder of Enough. Good afternoon to you, Katie. Katie, are you there? Okay, you might be on mute. We're going to ask you to unmute.
Yeah,
Hi,
sorry.
Katie. Don't worry. We've all done it. And Alicia Kearns, the Conservative MP and Shadow Minister for Safeguarding. Good afternoon to you.
Afternoon.
Katie, can you just explain this product? What does it actually do? How is it used? And how would it actually help survivors of assault or rape?
Yeah, thank you for having me on today and for having this discussion. So Enough is a non-profit that is set up to try and prevent the rape crisis that exists both for university students but also across the UK. It was close to 500,000 people who were raped last year. Very little deterrence exists at the moment, as less than 1% of rapists are convicted. If you speak to survivors, 80% of them aren't reporting, but they want to be able to do something. And as with any crime, if you can create a system where most people feel comfortable coming forwards, that prevents the perpetrators doing it in the first place. So the reason that we have developed the whole reporting solution via Enough, which includes a self-testing kit, but also includes writing down an anonymous testimony, is so that there is an overwhelming movement of people coming forward, and that creates accountability for perpetrators. So the very presence of the kit, and I've got one here to show you, looks like this. By giving these out in the thousands across university campuses, completely for free, I think you mentioned at the start we're selling, so just want to make clear, completely for free, this sends a very clear signal. If you do not get consent, there are consequences. Not only does it create that direct threat, but it also creates a cultural change whereby groups of students, including young men, sports teams, for example, the rugby team at Cambridge University 2 weeks ago, takes these, puts it on their table in their university house, and that starts a conversation about consent that they were never having otherwise.
Okay.
And so the combination of those things, 70% of students in Bristol, our first pilot university, said that they thought Enough as a campaign, as a social movement, the kit being one part of that, prevented rape at their university.
Okay, so a couple of things there. Just let's clarify a couple of things. So yes, you do hand out the rape kits to students for free, but you do also sell them online for £20. Is that correct?
Yes, 99% of the kits have been given out for free. The only reason they're available online to buy is to ensure access for people in other places. We sell them for less than the cost of even doing the laboratory test. None of this is about making money, it's about ensuring access.
Okay. And the 70%, I mean, how many students were asked? 70% of what kind of number?
This was done via student societies. So sports teams would put out the survey to their teams, and it was hundreds of students that responded to this. So it was independently done. It wasn't done via ourselves asking people.
Okay. You will know that there are some people who think that this, while this comes from a good place, it might not actually be evidentially reliable because it's not done in a kind of clinical environment necessarily. There's a risk of contamination. There's increased likelihood that evidence collected might not be admissible in court. I mean, this comes from people like the Victims Commissioner and Rape Crisis England and Wales. That they're just worried about the admissibility of this evidence.
Yes, this was a huge concern to us before we launched and was a key thing that we factored into the development of it. And we wouldn't have launched if there were any concerns on any of those levels. We have to start from a place of people not reporting today and not getting any way really of being able to create justice for themselves now or in the future. Kits can be admissible. Tampons could be admissible. underwear can be admissible. They have previously convicted rapists, and many experts are aware of that. We completely agree that the best quality evidence is from the police or from the SARC. But if 80% plus of survivors are not getting that, then for them, it is far better to have a less high quality version, but something which can still stand up in court, particularly when we think about serial rapists.
Okay.
And so, from the perspective of existing experts within the sector, we welcome all of their opinions and we want to meet with all of them, and we have met with some of them so far. But what we should all be recognising is the system doesn't work for survivors today. We should create systems of reporting that work for them, and we should be working together to make them safer rather than telling survivors those options shouldn't exist.
Okay.
Because one thing is clear, the system today isn't working and survivors are asking for something different.
Right. I just want to clarify just a word you used. You said SARC, that's a Sexual Assault Referral Centre. Alicia Kearns, do you think that there is a place for this at all?
Well, I'm afraid I don't think there's a place for them, and it's because they cannot be admissible in court. Look, it sounds lovely, but the entire messaging from Enough is that a swab rape kit will deter rapists. First of all, it is offensive, the concept that it is my duty to deter rapists. It is not. But secondly, the idea that having a self-swab rape kit at home is somehow going to stop them from raping you, I'm afraid is just not true. And the reality is what Katie is doing, whether it's well-meaning or not, is taking people away from the police, away from those sexual assault clinics who should be supporting them, when we all know that in court, it isn't a semen sample that proves that you've been raped. It's the evidence, I'm afraid, of the scratches, of his DNA under your skin, under your nails. It's things like that that prove it. And if you do not have those, then you cannot often get the conviction. And this isn't just my concerns. Over 40 charities have spoken out saying these rape kits aren't admissible. The National Police Chief Council said it. Somerset and Avon Police have said that they're really concerned. Let me read it. Self-swabbing kits introduce evidential challenges during any criminal prosecution. And we've also had a child who was raped case collapse because they used a self-swab rape kit. And some of these kits are going missing in the post. I'm really sorry. I get the idea that we want to support women, but even the statistics that Katie used there, where she said that 500,000 women are raped, that is not true. 0.5% of the UK population were victims of rape last year. That's about 150,000. Even if you extrapolated that many don't report, it doesn't take you to that number. And I'm afraid this is one of the consistent problems with Enough. The statistics
But hang on, okay, she was right about the conviction.
Can I come back on some of those things?
Of course you can. Just hang on a second. She was right about the conviction rate, though, wasn't she? It's very low.
Oh, the conviction rate is low, but we shouldn't be weaponising that to say to women, don't go to the police. There is a third way. Don't go to sexual assault clinics. There's a third way. There is no third way. You go to the police, you go to the experts who can swab you, you make sure they get a swab that is done in a clinically sound way, where there is proof where the sample came from, how it was collected, that the evidential basis. Everyone's watched CSI. They know how important it is that you have that chain of evidence. And most of all, they can give you that support that you need to recover from the rape that you've been through.
Okay, let's go. Alicia, let's go to Katie now, because you made quite a few assertions there, and it's only fair that she can answer some of them. Katie.
Thank you. And also, I'd just like to say it's nice to speak to you finally, Alicia, because I have been trying to meet with you to discuss some of these things for a while, because I totally respect where you're coming from and your opinions, but a lot of it is based on misconceptions. So I'll just go through some of the things you said. The first one about it being the individual survivor's duty to prevent this, completely false. The whole reason we're doing this is about creating... No, okay, please let me speak.
Alicia, just let her go through all that, and I'll come back to you.
Thank you. The whole thing here is that it is creating a societal deterrent. So it's not about having one in your bedroom and whipping it out. It's about it being present and available on university campuses, everyone knowing and talking about it. It can be admissible. That has been confirmed by leading KC barristers. The people that have opinions on admissibility are people who are not authorities in admissibility. Their concerns are that it won't be as admissible as if you got the high quality forensic police examination. But very, very few people want to put themselves through that 3 to 4 hour invasive, traumatizing process. We do not discourage anyone from going and doing that. We do the exact opposite by calling ourselves option 3, by speaking to students at our pop-ups, and you're very very welcome to come along to one of these and see. You will see that every single person, we say option 1 is police, option 2 is SARC. Most people don't know what a SARC is, so we actually educate them on that. And so in a way, enough is actually the first stepping stone for people to accept that there are ways of reporting that they might not have even known about, enough being the bottom of that list. When you talk about the thing that matters in court cases being scratches, 85% of survivors are raped by someone they know. There is no scratch. It's within a relationship. It's someone you know. When you talk about the child and kit going missing, no case has fallen apart because of a self-testing kit. The police have both put out guidance saying that they're not as forensically detailed as the police, and therefore police should come first. But the police have also instructed every single police force in the UK to use self-testing kits with the same evidential integrity as any other exhibit, because they know that that can contribute to a valuable court case. Most people today have nothing, they only have their word. The rate of rape, we reached that number through ONS data and also extrapolating it by the number who don't report, because we all know that so few people come forward. I think we can all agree, though, that any more than one rape is too much. So we shouldn't be arguing about that. So yeah, those are just the few things I wanted to get across. And
fine.
Alicia, I really would like to meet with you further to talk through this. We haven't had a chance to do that, and I highly value your opinion.
Alicia, would you be up for that?
I'm afraid I'm not, and the reason is I've seen the letters that Katie has sent threatening legal action to rape charities across our country and to young girls at Bristol University and others who have said that they don't support these kits and who've raised questions. So anyone who raises their voice, and I'm doing it because I know as an MP I have more protection, so I have a duty to use my voice, receive letters saying that their future employment will be reduced, that they need to immediately take down anything they've said, take down social media posts, and these are rape charities as well, not just young girls. So no, I've got no interest, I'm afraid. Katie, I'm going to continue now. You've said that the point that you believe the police have been instructed to use them. Guidance for police comes from the National Police Chiefs Council, who have said self-testing DNA kits cause significant issues around the integrity and admissibility of criminal evidence as it moves the criminal justice process. We urge caution regarding claims made about the evidential value and deterrent effect of self-swab kits. The Police Chiefs Council, who you claim have instructed police have done it, last week came out with a statement where the National Police Chiefs Council told police not to use self-swab rape kits. When you say you have leading evidential experts who say this is valid, I'm sorry, but the police outweigh anyone that you can't physically name and give a name to, as well as the over 40 charities. My job is to make sure that when women are raped, they go into the system where they can get the support they need and get the protection so they get prosecutions. You are taking DNA out of the system, so serial rapists are not being reported, they're not being recognised, and they're definitely not being tackled.
Okay, Alicia, I do need to go back to Katie.
Apologies.
Now. It's all right. There's a lot in this. Katie, first of all, some of the allegations at the beginning of that, are they true?
No, they are not true. We have been in many difficult situations with people misrepresenting enough. We've always asked people to have a conversation with us. For example, yourself, Alicia, we emailed you and said, you know, you're saying things about us that aren't true. Please, can we meet? And you haven't replied and you've refused to do so. But we're having this conversation now, which is good, and that's a step forward. When you talk about oh, sorry, it's gone from my head now. When you talk about the National Police Chiefs Council, the National Police Chiefs Council, there are two documents, and this is really, really important. There is the public document, which is the position statement that you've just read from, which effectively says everyone should go to the police first if they want to. That we all agree, first step. There is also, and I'm very happy to send this after you, guidance that the National Police Chief Council have given to all police forces saying how they should use a self-testing kit if one is presented to them. Because it's all very well saying everyone should go to the police, but what if people want to use a self-testing kit? And it's no one's place to ever tell a survivor who would otherwise do nothing that they shouldn't use something which will help them preserve DNA. And that guidance is to use self-testing DNA kits with the same evidential integrity as any other exhibit. And that's because anything can be valuable to a case, even if it is not the police.
I think when it comes to admissibility and evidence, I think both of you are not going to agree. So we'll have to leave it there. But I really hope I hope that, people who are listening at home they'll be able to make up their own minds about this. They've heard both arguments and they can make up their own minds. Thank you very much to both of you. I hope you feel that you got adequate time. Katie White, who is co-founder of Enough, and Alicia Kearns, who is the Shadow Safeguarding Minister. And I know it was a pretty horrendous subject. Of course, when we're talking about sexual assault and rape, if you have been affected by any of the issues raised, you could send us an email at feedback@times.radio, feedback@times.radio, and we will point you in the direction of the resources that you need.